Hi, this is Kendra from Pencil and Pigment, and today I wanted to talk about Bob Ross. So a couple days ago, Netflix released a documentary called Bob Ross, Happy Accidents, Betrayal and Greed. And it's an hour and a half, and it's about his legacy, his trademark, the company, what's left, his life, obviously his life and his contribution to the art world, but also what's left. I grew up with Bob Ross. I was 3 years old in 1983 when the first season aired. I don't remember the first season. I don't remember him wearing glasses, but I remember the episode, the black and white one he did for the person he ran into at the mall that was colorblind. I remember how included he made me feel. Sort of the age before 12, I consider, those magic years, those formative years, those years where everything is possible and nothing's off the table. And the entire time his show was airing, I watched it. I watched all of them. I don't really remember the guest appearances from other creators, especially his son. I don't remember those at all, but I definitely remember the furry little critters in his pocket. Gosh, so cute. Anyway, the documentary's sad. I'm going to tell you right now, it's sad. It 100% made me cry. Because there's kind of a psychological attachment to someone when they are there in front of you in your home promoting the very thing you love more than everything, talking about how you can do it and showing and giving you tips and tricks to encourage you and say that you can do this, and just championing you and cheering you on and hoping the best for you in something that you love so very much. And from that standpoint, I think a lot of us feel very attached to him and protective of him, and it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to watch. I had no idea that the final season he was in so much physical pain. I didn't know that. That wasn't something that was ever made public. I have seen other little documentaries, and I'll link to the ones that have made their way to this platform on YouTube. But they don't talk about that. And in fact, they don't talk about the trademark of his name or the everything's so carefully worded in a way that it seems like everything is copacetic with the Ross family. In watching this documentary, you learn that it's just not. And Steve Ross, I know you'll never see this, but you, sir, are an inspiration. You're an inspiration by continuing the name, by continuing the art, by continuing to paint, by teaching and encouraging others, by just being one of the people not scared to speak out. I know a lot of people that had signed up to do that documentary dropped out for fear of being sued. And that breaks my heart. That breaks my heart that people can't even speak. They can't even stand up for themselves or what they believe to be right for fear of monetary reasons. And as an artist, as a creator, there are takeaways from the show, and I kind of just wanted to share a couple things that I got from the show. When we look back at names and trademark, my initial first response is Prince, the artist formerly known as Prince. When artists sign up for a record label, the record label basically, they own your music, they own you, they own your name. And to be emancipated from Warner Brothers, one of the multitude of reasons, he changed his name to a symbol. They owned his name, they owned the rights to it. So my takeaway for this, for creators, is if you decide to have any form of business, if you make your business your name, and you ever decide to sell your business, you're selling your name. You don't have the rights to your name. Someone else now owns your name in the business capacity. Always know what you're signing. Always have a lawyer. Always have a lawyer read everything. Always have a lawyer explain it to you. Even if you are well versed on all the laws and all the things, do it anyway. Always do it anyway. I'm reminded of a recent court case where this is still happening with creators. Haley Page is a fashion dress designer. She was on that TV show, Say Yes to the Dress. I've never watched it, but I've heard of it. And she made wedding dresses. And when she signed up with a company called JLM, she signed paperwork and basically signed the rights to her name. They own her name now, and they can make things in her name, even if she's no longer with them. So have a lawyer. Always, always have a lawyer. This is not exactly what happened with Bob Ross. His is a much more convoluted case of, name versus basically corporation. But when estates take over, it just becomes a mess, and it's a mess for this family. And it breaks my heart, because my other takeaway is how warm and inviting, and his lust for life that just continues to inspire people. His videos, there's a YouTube channel of his videos, and you can watch those. You can still see his videos. I will link some of them. You can still be inspired, and if you want to learn how to oil paint, you can still do that. That is still available to people. This is a resource that will live on. And when you realize through the show how it reached all these other countries and impacted all these other people everywhere, it's amazing. It's amazing, and I wish so much for his name and his legacy. And I mean, have tissues ready if you're gonna watch it, but it's a tough watch. The trademark of the name, like you think of Oprah Winfrey, Martha Stewart, Snoop Dogg, their name is their brand. That is them. That is their business. That is their brand. When they endorse something, they make something, it is under their umbrella of their name. So be very, very careful. I will link to articles, to videos. If you're interested in the Haley Page controversy of what's going on right now with the lawyers and the documents of the trademark of her name, I will link to a YouTuber named Emily D. Baker that breaks down that court case. I will link to some things about Prince and his name change and all the reasons that he did that, but Warner Brothers owned his name. So that's how he got emancipated from that. Steve Ross, keep doing you, keep inspiring, keep creating. If you want to see a Bob Ross painting, there are some I'm trying to think, there is the Bob Ross Workshop Gallery in Smyrna, Florida. There is the Bob Ross Experience in Munis, Indiana. There is 4 paintings at the Smithsonian Museum of American History in Washington, D.C. So you can still see his art. You can't buy his art. He did 3 paintings of every painting. So he did one as a reference, just off camera, one that he was painting on camera for the show, and a third one afterwards that was photographed, every single brush stroke that he did to create all his books. Every episode he did, he didn't get paid for. This is public television. There was no money. They don't pay you for that. He donated a lot of these paintings back to the station to thank him for the TV show. He made money through the books, through the sale of his videos, and teaching. He loved to teach. So I know a bunch of his paintings, I think about 1,100 of them, are sitting in the office of, they're in Richmond, they're in Herndon, Virginia. And you can call 1-800-BOB-ROSS and talk to someone there. I don't believe they're stored properly or correctly at all, and that also makes me incredibly sad. Because he's such a source of inspiration to us. And when you grow up with something that's a norm in your life, and then you realize it wasn't quite what you thought it was. I had no idea that the last season of his life he was in so much pain, and I think that's what made me sad the most, is my last takeaway, and that is his lust for life and art and painting. And that's something that can never be exploited. That is something that can never be taken away. That is something you feel with every episode that you watch. And nobody can buy that. Nobody can sell that. That was Bob Ross. And it's still an inspiration for generations to come. And I'm going to continue to hold on to that and wish Steve Ross the very, very best. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I hope it's full of happy trees and happy clouds. And I will talk to you all later. Bye.